Hey there nation, and welcome to the show where we help you to play miniatures wargaming on a budget. It is I, Commander Cheapskate, and we are back in an episode of Way of the Underhive. This series is dedicated to helping brand new players to Necromunda build their starting rosters and learn more about the game mechanics of their favorite gangs. And on today's episode, we'll discuss playing a Narrative Venator gang for your next campaign in Necromunda. We'll discuss what a narrative gang is, the reasons for playing a narrative gang, and provide a 2,400 starting credit roster for your very first narrative campaign. So once again, we are doing a series where we're talking about different gangs and how you can play them in a narrative campaign. In a narrative campaign, we actually change the rules a little bit for gang composition, allowing you to recruit Dramatis Personae, which is going to be really important for this game specifically because of the way I've designed it. Now, why would you want to play Venators? The only question I would have is, with another question, why wouldn't you want to play Venators? They are the ultimate in diversity, and they have large access to Dramatis Personae, especially for this narrative campaign setting as well. They're very customizable, and they're very narrative heavy as well. There's a lot of cool things you can do with the Dramatis Personae. They make up a Venator gang, as well as different things that you want to put in there, like different weapon types and skills and all kinds of variety as well. Plus, you're playing a gang of mercenary blood money bounty hunters. Need I say more? That is like the coolest thing ever. It's like a combination of every one-man army, murder, hobo, Wild West, cyberpunk, sci-fi, gunslinging narrative that you can combine all together, and it makes a really awesome looking gang as well. So that being said, let's go and talk about exactly what is a narrative gang. Alright, so first of all, let's talk about what is a narrative roster. A narrative roster is an idea I've been cooking up for a while, where it's basically a new way of playing. Necromunda is a wonderful game with all kinds of interesting stuff, with Dramatis Personae and special characters and skills, weapons and equipment, and all kinds of different things that makes this game such a fantastic skirmish game to play. The campaign setting is literally limitless, and the different opportunities that you can have to play. So my idea was, what if you took some of those narrative aspects of the Necromunda lore and applied it to list building for our gangs? Now, in a narrative list, you'll be using Dramatis Personae as leaders as well as champions in your gangs, so long as it kind of fits with the overall narrative of what your gang is. Same thing with having access to certain skills, weapons, and war gear that may not normally be allowed in your gang as well, and the reason why we're doing that to add to that narrative flavor. This also applies to brutes, hang-arounds, as well as hired guns, which are not normally allowed in a starting roster, so that's what the idea of this whole narrative roster is. We're taking the narrative elements of the Necromunda setting with a specific gang and applying it to that starting roster. Now, the whole reason why you might want to play a narrative gang is because it's a fun new way to spice up playing Necromunda. It could also be the basis of a brand new narrative campaign. A narrative campaign is this idea I've been cooking up in my head about actually having a campaign setting where there's an actual storyline for each of the different gangs. The gangs are out to seek certain kind of objectives in this campaign setting, and that's pretty much how it would work in that campaign setting. The gangs that achieve their objectives, narratively speaking, are the ones that end up winning the campaign. And the idea was a nice little way to explore some of the lore and the endless fluff that is usually associated with Necromunda. Like I said before, Necromunda has a very rich and in-depth campaign setting with different characters, houses, guilds, criminal organizations, different levels and different factions all vying for control of this crazy planet. So I thought it would be really a cool idea in order to create those kind of campaigns around those little pieces of lore and have games to reflect that and to do this. The idea of a narrative campaign as well as a narrative roster is that you kind of focus more on fluff and lore rather than competitive play, and I'm going to try to design the lists around that so that way your starting roster does reflect that for the specific game that you're playing. And obviously, the biggest question should be asked, why should you play in every game? And my only answer is, with another question, why not? There's a lot of cool things you can do in Necromunda and a lot of cool topics you can explore as well. This is a good way for beginners to learn how to play a game as well, and it could also be great for experienced players too, just in case you're looking for some new and interesting way to do this. Not only that, it could also be fun being an arbitrator of a narrative campaign, because you got to create a narrative story, give different objectives for your gangs to try to accomplish, and earn points that way. It's also really fun for players to kind of build in backstory of why their gang is operating the way it is and how it's supposed to operate in the campaign setting, and it's a really cool idea as well. And I suggest giving it a try. I mean, why not? You could always see something new with this game system, and that's the wonderful thing about Necromunda. There's always new and cool ways of actually playing this game as well. I will give you a warning, however, no way in shape and form should you be using a narrative list like this if your arbitrator doesn't allow it for your campaign, just because I'm not following some of the official rules for the gang rule building rules that come with the game. And at the same time, these are also not really good for tournament play, but just keep that in mind as we go forward. Alright, so let's go ahead and talk about your Narrative Venator starting roster that's going to equal 2,400 credits. Now, the primary and secondary skills for this are going to be Combat and Shooting for primary, as well as Cunning and Savant for your secondary skills. And the reason why that's the case is because in case you're unfamiliar with how Venator gang operates, you get to choose your 2 primaries as well as your 2 secondaries. Now, this gang is going to be very unique because it's made up entirely of Dramatis Personae. So this is one of the few gangs that I'm actually creating for this narrative series that has nothing but Dramatis Personae in it. And of course, it is entirely because it's made up of Dramatis Personae is purely for fun, which means you really can't use it for tournaments or any kind of official Necromunda events because they'll pretty much frown upon it as well. Now, people might say that's overpowered, but not necessarily because, yes, while they might have some really good stats as well as some skills and some interesting weapons, they don't actually have a lot of really powerful heavy weapons as well as special weapons. So in that case, this gang is kind of weak in that sense. However, though, they do have a lot of small arms and they have really good skills and stats to back that up. Now, because of this, when it comes to the narrative ideas for this one, there's a lot you could do. You could say that they're mercenaries who have been hired by the guilds to go after a very specific target or to arrest a very specific target. You could have them escorting another Dramatis Personae character if you want to, or to actually crack down on crime in this part of the world, or you can actually have them look for something like they're on an adventure of some sort, looking to recover some kind of ancient technology or some kind of treasure. There's pretty much limitless ideas you can come up with this gang that you could use to develop your narrative campaign as the game goes on. So now that we're done talking about this roster, let's talk about the individual fighters who make it up. So first of all, let's talk about your leader. That character is going to be Cal Jericho, because what kind of Venator gang would not have Cal Jericho as its leader? He's going to cost 340 credits as well, and we actually didn't do any adjustment to his gear at all. We just took him just straight up as he was. He's got flak armor as well as Twin Master crafted hotshot last pistols as well as a dueling saber. He does have filter plugs in case he runs into a gas or toxic weapons. It's a one-use kit. He's also got a strip kit as well, so that way he can unlock doors if he has to and bypassing intelligence check. He also has counterattack, gunfighter, inspirational spring up, and step aside skills, so all those are really good for close combat as well as for shooting as well. And at the same time, he also has a charm life, which gives him a 3-up ward save. So this guy is absolutely fantastic. And we didn't do anything different with his gears or his skills. We're just going to take him exactly how he is as vanilla. And since we're taking Cal Jericho, we also have to take Scabs, who also toss 100 credits as well. And the reason why he only costs 100 credits is because of the come along Scab special rule that Cal Jericho actually has with them. He's actually going to be one of your hunt champions as well. He's got flak armor for 6 of armor save, as well as a plasma gun for a main weapon, and a stun gun for a backup weapon. He's also got filter plugs in case he runs into gas trap weapons. He's also got the climber skill so that we can climb vertical surfaces without interference. He's got escape art just to make it a little bit harder if he wants to evade close combat as well as in case he gets captured. And he also has the infiltrate special skill, so that way he can actually pop up anywhere he wants on the battlefield too. This guy's going to make an excellent big gun assassin type character. He's also going to have other Dramatis Personae that can back him up when he infiltrates on the tabletop, so that way he is not by himself. Your second character is going to be Yolanda Scorn. She's going to be your second champion. If you notice, I put down Catalyst in her name, and the reason why is because there is a love interest that Cal Jericho has in the Underhive named Yolanda. Catalyst is her name from the novels. She's supposed to be from House Catalyst, but she actually hides out amongst the Escher gangers and actually becomes a bounty hunter for the Escher gang. And since this character pretty much matches the description of what that Catalyst character was like in the novels, I decided to throw this character in as your hunt champion. Just pretend that she's Yolanda Catalyst from the Cal Jericho novels. Now she's going to cost you 230 credits. She's also a hunt champion as well. She's got flak armor for 6 of armor save, a stub gun for a primary shooting attack, as well as a stiletto sword for close combat. She also packs frag grenade. She also has photo goggles as well as respirators, so that way she can see in all visibility conditions, and can also take any gas or toxic attacks as well. She's also got the House Escher legacy, so that way she can purchase things from the House Legacy list if she wants to later on. She also has the counterattack skill for close combat, the fearsome skill, which means your opponent will need to pass a willpower test to charge her, and she also has a parry skill, which means that she can actually force you to re-roll 2 of your successful attacks, one for this skill as well as one for her stiletto sword as well. And she's going to be an absolute close combat beast, and narratively speaking, she also fits with this gang as well. And because we're using Aranthian Succession campaign rules in order to build our list, you're allowed to double the number of champions so long as you have the same number of fighters with the Gang Fighter X rule to balance it out. And your very last champion is going to be the Deserter. He's going to cost you 225 credits as well. We only did 3 champions in this list, so that way if you want to get a 4th champion, you could use a different Dramatis Personae of your choice. Some good ones could be like that, like that bounty hunter who's a squat bounty hunter, or a beastman bounty hunter, or even Eros Slagmus would make a really cool bounty hunter as well for champion. But whatever the case may be, that 4th one's entirely up to your discretion. Now this fighter of course got flak armor as well as an armor undersuit. He's also packing a shotgun with solid scatter ammo as well as a fighting knife and frag grenades. So like I said before, everyone on this list has some pretty normal kind of weapons, nothing over the top or anything like that. But he does have the Medicae skill, which is going to be really great for patching up fighters. He's got the Mentor skill, so that way if you pass a leadership test while your fighters are around him, they also gain additional point of experience. And he's also got the very powerful Overseer skill, which means he could actually make a person fight with double activations if he passes leadership tests. Think of the Hunt Champion of the Desert as kind of like your second in command for Cal Jericho. This guy can run around with his own little assault team and actually give him a lot of psychology buffs in order to help them out. Now it's time to talk about your hunters, and the very first hunter you're going to have is Yar Umbra. It's going to cost 230 credits. He's going to be one of your hunters as well. He has flak armor for a 6-up armor save as well as a long last with infrasight, so that we can do some long range shooting with that long last as well as an any visibility condition because of his infrasight. He's also got a fighting knife as well as photo goggles so that we can see in the dark, and he also has a respirator in case there's any gas or toxin attacks as well. He does have the infiltrate skill, which is going to be perfect because you can pair this guy up with scabs and they can both make a sniper team that they can actually deploy in behind enemy lines and take out targets at distance. He's got the marksman skill, which means he doesn't have to worry about targeting priority, and he's also got the overwatch skill, which means he can interrupt enemy activations any single time he wants to, which is absolutely fantastic for this character. Your next hunter is going to be Apollo's Cage. It costs 305 credits. He's also a hunter who's equipped with mesh armor for 5-up armor save. He's got a bolt gun, but it's a little bit different than normal bolt gun. It's more like an enforcer bolt gun, so he's got a 4-up ammo roll on that weapon, so very, very cool there. He's got a shotgun with solid scatter as well as execution ammo as a backup weapon for that, as well as a fighting knife. He's also packing frag grenades, respirator, photo goggles, and he's also got the House Orlok Legacy, so that we can buy House Orlok gear if you want to later on. Things like Saber Mastiffs would be really cool for this gang. He's also got hip shooting, so that way he can move up twice and open fire with his weapons. He'll do so for -1 to hit with the ballista skill, but with that bolt gun though, with the shotgun with close range, would pretty much mitigate that modifier. And he's also got the True Grit skill to make it a little bit more difficult to kill in close combat. So Apollo's Cage is an excellent all-around fighter. Use him to do a lot of variety of different things, shooting at targets from medium to close range, also infiltrating up forward to attack enemy flanks. He makes a perfect assault fire team leader. And your next hunter after that is Krotos Hark, who's going to cost you 220 credits. He's also a hunter as well. He's also got an armor undersuit with furnace plates for a 4-up armor save. He's got a stub cannon, which is, just a decent weapon. Strength 5 and knockback, though. He's also got a fighting knife for close combat. He's got the headbutt skill as well as inspirational as a missioneer skill, and he's also got a House Goliath legacy, so that way you can buy further House Goliath materials if you want to. That headbutt's a great way to get a free attack in close combat. Inspirational can help out with a lot of your fighters who need some support with certain psychological stats, and that munitioneer skill is going to be really helpful for anybody who needs additional rerolls on ammo saves. Plus, Krotos Hark himself is not a slouch either in combat, and plus he has a really high intelligence skill, so it could really help you out with hacking things, opening doors, bypassing loot boxes, all kinds of cool stuff like that. After that, you're going to have Grub Tarzan, who's going to cost you 105 credits. This guy is a hunter. He's going to have a flak armor as well as a shotgun with solid scatter as well as executioner ammo. He's also got a fighting knife for close combat as well as frag grenades. Now for skills, this guy has backstab, so that way he gets additional strength whenever he hits you from behind, and when combined with his fighting knife, it's giving you actually a +2 to his strength modifier, making him strength 5 if he stabs you from behind you. He's also got the evade special rule, so that way he's a little bit harder to shoot at distance, and he's also got the infiltrate skill. So what you're going to do is you're going to pair this guy up with Yar Umbra as well as Scabs. The three of them will deploy together as a single fire team. Pretty much Yar Umbra as well as Scabs are the main killers in that fire team, and Grub Tarzan takes on any fighters who try to attack that group while they're deployed forward. And actually really a helpful member of your gang. And of course, another one of your hunters is Mad Dog Mono. This guy is going to be a hunter, is going to cost you 90 credits. He's got boilerplate, which basically counts as furnace plates. He's also got a stub gun, which is meh, as well as a grab hook, which is meh as well. It does have the versatile trait, which is kind of nice, and plus you can fight from mounted condition or on a vehicle with that, which is going to be kind of nice. And he also has a respirator in case somebody has gas or toxin attacks. He's also got the dodge skill, which gives him a 6-up ward save in close combat, as well as escape artist skill. So that way it makes it a little bit harder to hit, especially if he decides to retreat or if he gets captured as well. And this fighter, of course, is just your typical, just standard grunt with close combat. The reason why I include this guy, Mad Dog Mono, so that way when you buy, if you decide to buy the official miniatures from Forge World, if you're looking to do that, you can get Yolanda Scorn, Grub Tarzan, as well as Mad Dog Mono in the same kit. It's also the reason why a lot of the fighters I picked for this list are the way I've done that, so that way if you buy the official miniatures, if you want to, they come in multiple packs, so it's not as expensive for your gang. Dr. Arachnos will be your next hunter. He's going to cost you 100 credits. Not only is he a hunter, but he's also a rogue doc as well. He's got mesh armor for 5 armor save, a last pistol for close range shooting, as well as medical mechadendrites, which make great close combat weapons with versatile trait. He's got a bioscanner in order to keep out your eye for your enemy in case he has to do a sentry type situation. And he's also got a respirator to ignore gas and toxin trait weapons as well. He's got the Meta K skill, which is going to be great for patching up wounded soldiers, as well as a rogue doc skill, so that way if anybody takes a critical hit, he can take care of them. And he's also got part of the crew special rule, so that way he can actually deploy with you on the tabletop. After all, nothing is better than having a rogue dog, but a rogue dog that can actually fight and help you out in combat. And your very last hunter is going to be Big B Crumb. It's going to cost you 50 credits. This guy's also a hunter. He's got a stub gun as well as a slot pot ladle, which is basically just a reinforced maul is what he has. But the reason why you're taking this character is for 2 reasons. One is the slot pot game mechanic, which basically gives enemy buffs to your gang fighters within range. It can do things like maneuver the layer of the beast token. It can make your guys have temporary skills as well as resistances. So it's a really useful ally to have around in order to help out your support teams. At the same time, it's also got the part of the crew skill, so that way you can also be included in combat on the tabletop. And of course, he's also sloppers. If anybody's actually injured, if you roll a 6 while this guy's in your gang, you can actually heal your guys as well. So what's better than a normal slopper, but a slopper that can also provide buffs on the battlefield and also cause problems for your enemies later on. And lastly, because we are going out to the Ash Waste, we have a Guild of Coin Haulers that costs you 400 credits. This guy's got photo goggles so that we can see in all visibility conditions. He's also driving a Guild of Coin Cargo 8 Ridge Hauler with a Munitorium armor container, so that way if you need to, you can get additional ammunition reloads for your weapons. You also have additional weapon platforms to install some really powerful shooting attacks if you want to as well. He's also got a Blade of Armor, so in case if you get a non-glancing hit, it will protect your body of your vehicle, crash cage, or to protect your crew of your vehicle, as well as an engine shell to protect your engine as well for your vehicle. Now this vehicle does not have any weaponry on it at all, but that could be something you could do as you advance further on the campaign. You can buy better weapons for this vehicle as well. Same thing with all the other fighters in your gang. You can increase their weapons, armor skill, their armor that they have to protect themselves, give them ammunition types to make them even deadlier. It's a lot you could do with this game to kind of match up your personal play style. Now, when it comes to playing this gang and organizing it, I suggest you actually organize your gang into 4 fire teams. You have Assault Fire Team number 1 consists of Cal Jericho, Apollos Cage, as well as Krotos Hark. Your second Assault Team will consist of Yolanda Scorn, as well as Mad Dog Mono, as well as your Guild of Coin Hauler. You can also put your next Hunt Champion in this group if you want to as well, later on if you decide to recruit another one. You have a Support Fire Team will consist of the Deserter, as well as Dr. Arachnos, as well as Bugby Crumb, and then you have an Infiltrations Team made up of Scabs, Yar Umbra, as well as Grub Tarjan. The Infiltrations Team will actually use Infiltrate skill to pop up somewhere where they can expose enemy flank, so they can lay some long-range fire to fight any enemies with Yar Umbra as well as Scabs, and Grub Tarjan can watch their back in case anybody tries to attack them. Your Support Fire Team will fall up between your Assault Fire Team 1 and Assault Fire Team 2. The reason why is that way they can use the Overseer skill from the Deserter, as well as the Medicae skill from both the Deserter as well as Dr. Arachnos. Plus, Bugmeat Crumb can also give you those buffs that you need from the Slot Pot team, so just put them behind whatever Assault Fire Team you think is going to need the most support when you go up forward. Cal Jericho, Apollos Cage, and Krotos Hark will be able to eliminate pretty much anything that stands in their way. These guys are really deadly in close combat as well as shooting. And same thing with Assault Team number 2. Yolanda Scorn is no slouch either. Same thing with Mad Dog Mono. And especially if you start getting heavy weapons for your Guild of Coin Hauler, that thing will be even more terrifying as well. And that's how I would recommend you kind of organize your gang over the course of the campaign. And of course, you can buy better weapons, equipment, and war gear to match your playstyle as your campaign develops from there. So in conclusion, building a narrative list is a fun and unique idea to try out new lists, different dramatis personae that you might not usually have access to, as well as setting up new challenges for yourself, as well as for your campaign as well. And like I said before in the introduction, in no way is this official at all, so I wouldn't recommend you taking these to any kind of official tournaments or any organized tournament play as well. Same thing with your arbitrator. Also double check your arbitrator, see if they'd be okay with you actually making a gang list like this. And ask your arbitrator if you would like to do a narrative style campaign. It could be something really cool. It could be something really cool to try out within your gaming groups and to try out new campaigns, so give it a try. And if you do decide to play this way, please let me know down the comments box down below. I'd love to hear some of the comments and feedback you guys have about using the different lists I create, as well as some future other campaign ideas that I have coming down the pike. And of course, I'll bring up more videos about this topic as time goes on. And as always, recommendations for any narrative list will be welcomed. I'm actually planning on making a narrative list for pretty much every single faction in Necromunda, so I do have my work cut out for me, and I'll be uploading those videos on a regular basis. So keep an eye out for that to make sure you catch up to learn the newest and latest narrative lists for whatever particular faction you would like to play. So that's good for this week, guys. As always, please feel free to like, comment, and or subscribe. Your guys' input is invaluable to us as always. Also check us out on Facebook, Instagram, as well as blogger.com for all the latest greatest hobby news related to this channel. That's good for this video, guys. We will catch you guys next one. Peace out and stay classy.